How the hell are we all doing, alright? Are we all doing fine? I'm doing fine. I didn't think I'd make a part 2 to the Michael Alberto video so soon. Honestly, I was kind of hoping that Michael would release his Nicholas Diorio video and I'd just kind of go over it, pointing out the flaws in it, but we'll get into why he really hasn't released it, but we'll touch on that. We got a lot of stuff to cover. I just figured, turn on the camera and just basically talk about some of the stuff. So, last time we left off, Michael had basically pledged his allegiance to both Tipster and Keffels on a live stream. And basically nothing much of interest just happened. Just basically both Tipster and Michael kind of seething over Nicholas Diorio. He did ask him about Zaptime, didn't really give a clear stance on it. The only thing worth noting is that he didn't know why he was included on the truce, which, it's fair to agree. I don't know why Tipster was included, as Tipster really played a minor role in the whole Technicals versus Augie type of drama. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Tipster kind of goes back on that whole situation and says that Zaptai is a pedophile. I don't really see him siding with Technicals, same with Keffels, as those two don't really get along with Technicals, and I bet he's still mad about the jokes that Technicals made about him. I mean, he was pretty pissy about it during the whole drama, so I bet there's still some sort of anger towards that. But it's Tipster, what do you expect? But also in that live stream, worth pointing out, Flamenco joined in. Yes, Flamenco tried to join in and be on Michael's team, but Michael really didn't want anything to do with him. And even still to this day, Michael doesn't really want to do anything with Flamenco. I don't know why Flamenco's trying so hard, but Lerix also called into that stream and just basically tried to explain to Michael why his takes aren't really some of the best. It's really interesting to see this whole thing because Lerix was gone from the internet for a while, and the fact that Michael's still calling him bad faith when Lerix is probably the most charitable person out of the community, at least at that time. It's trying to. He was pretty middle. He didn't really side with Nick or Michael. He just saw it from an unbiased perspective, and he tried to explain that to Michael, and he just kept saying it was bad faith, or he just wouldn't get it. It's very interesting to see Michael like that. Which kind of proves my point that no matter how hard you try to, explain it to him or try to show him facts or try to make him understand, he's always going to call you bad faith, no matter how unbiased you are. And you'll see later on as well what I mean by that. So after that whole live stream, nothing really significant happened with Michael. Even after my video dropped, Michael just kept tweeting about Nick, saying that his video is coming and that it's the July surprise. And that was really it for a while until Ethan Ralph jumped into the mix. And what I mean by that is that Ethan Ralph recently got banned from Cozy. Apparently, it was due to his behavior at a Nick Fuentes rally that he showed up drunk and then he got escorted out, and he supposedly leaked where the event was and supposedly doxed a bunch of his employees. I'm not sure how much is that true. Again, I don't really know that much about the drama other than the Nick Fuentes and Ethan Ralph bridge is burnt. So Michael Alberto, being the little goblin content he is, decides to stream snipe Ethan Ralph and sort of make fun of the guy. Keep in mind he's live streaming on Cozy, and one of Cozy's rules is you're not allowed to have a banned person from the site on your live stream. Kind of like one of Twitch's rules, which is really, really stupid. But yeah, Michael just stream sniping and making fun of the guy, laughing at him, making jokes at his expense until Ethan Ralph catches wind of this and challenges him to a debate. And let's just say it doesn't go over well in Michael's favor, as the whole entire time he's just getting absolutely embarrassed and made fun of by Ethan Ralph and his co-host as well, which I don't remember the guy's name from the top of my head, but they're bringing up a lot of the stuff he's done with Nick Fuentes along with the current drama with Augie and Nick. And you can tell Michael gets very butthurt about it. He gets very uncomfortable. He looks like he's almost about to cry, but yeah, it doesn't really go for Michael that well. And yeah, he ends up getting banned from Cozy TV immediately after the stream ends, and it's funny how he really tried to get it on Ethan Ralph and just failed miserably. However, not too long after this ban, he switches over to Ethan Ralph's side. Yeah, out of spite for Nick Fuentes and Cozy TV, he decides to switch over to Ethan Ralph's side and starts, I guess, campaigning against Nick Fuentes and how he was always evil and all this and that, when really it's just out of pure spite. Like, whenever... Again, this has been proven that whenever Michael gets wronged, he always tends to side with the other side of the enemy. Like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That kind of whole mentality. And sometimes it works out for people. For Michael, though, I don't think it's going to work out for very too long, if I'm being honest. But yeah, he switches over to Ethan Ralph's side and he makes another live stream, this time on Kick. And basically, he explains that it was a big misunderstanding that Ethan Ralph thought that Michael was on Nick Fuentes' side and that he was just kind of trying to use him as a pawn, and then Michael didn't really understand the situation with Ethan Ralph, just kind of thought it was funny. And yeah, it's just complete utter cope. That's really what it is. Just an excuse for his terrible performance. All right. It's pretty obvious what he was trying to do. He was trying to make fun of Ethan Ralph. It backfired on him. And now he's siding with Ethan Ralph because he got banned from Cody TV. That's really what it is. I mean, a lot of the stuff that Ethan Ralph has done, if you know his history, if you heard of it, he's not really the nicest person. And the fact that, he's going after Nick for supposed doxing and all this other stuff when Ethan Ralph has kind of done some similar stuff, it's very, very hypocritical. But however, in that same live stream, a debate happened with Lerix against Salvo and Michael Alberto, which is the big thing that happened with Michael. So let's just, I guess, talk about it then. So this whole thing starts with a woman that made a video detailing her experience with someone that she had given head to in the company or YouTube channel Super Mega, and she said that she felt sexually assaulted because she was basically giving them a blowjob, and she says that he forced her head down when she didn't want to. A lot of people in the community said this wasn't sexual assault because she had already given consent. She was already in the act, so it's not really sexual assault. Michael, being the little loser he is, decides to be on the opposite end and say that it is, along with his girlfriend, and Lerix had given this take as well, and Michael and his girlfriend sort of clowned on Lerix, and then Lerix clapped back, and then little pussy tickled because Lerix made fun of his ogre girlfriend. So Michael basically fires up a stream defending his own stance on it, and of course, Lerix is in the chat, telling him to drag him in. And sure enough, Lerix does call in and sort of goes off on Michael, kind of hot-headed. And the point of where they were disagreeing was Michael was saying that she had said her head was being forced down, while Lerix was saying she never said her head was being forced down. And of course, they play the clip on stream, and sure enough, Michael was actually right. She did say that, and that's basically enough for Michael and Savo, keep in mind Savo's in the call, to say that Michael had won and Lerix had lost. I think I'm not the only one who has this opinion, but Lerix honestly shouldn't have called in. I don't think he should have wasted his time, especially with Salvo there. Nothing productive was going to get done. He definitely came in there way too hot-headed and cocky against Michael. It definitely kind of made him look bad is what I'm trying to say. However, that's it. That's the only thing I could say Michael won in regard. Because everything else, he looked pretty bad in that whole live stream, especially with Lerix. Because Lerix pointed out a lot of good stuff and showed really Michael's true colors.
Allegation wasn't even that he forced her to give head. She never said that she was forced to give him head. You realize that, right?
That's what Kat is saying. That's what it was, and Kat actually did watch
so
the
now
full
you're
video.
so now you're putting the blame on your fucking girlfriend.
She's the one who she's the one who watched the fucking video. I didn't watch the fucking video. I don't have 2 hours to spend on this shit.
Michael still didn't know about the subject. He got lucky, all right? He got the whole situation from his girlfriend, a secondhand source, instead of doing the research himself, instead of actually looking into the whole situation. He only went against the opinion because that's what everyone was against. The only reason he said it was sexual harassment because everyone was saying that it wasn't. He even called out Augie. So that still doesn't change anything that Michael Alberto doesn't do any research whatsoever.
Dude, you can bring on Spondal or Diorio. This has nothing to do with me, and I don't know the context.
Well, you're siding with them. You're siding with them.
But so I never even made a statement about that situation.
You're siding with them. You're siding with them.
So if I agree on one person's position on one certain thing, that means I have to co-sign.
Well, when you're constantly rubbing shoulders with them, and he's liking your tweets, like, what does that say?
You sound like a dumb fuck. I can obviously agree with someone on one thing, and I can disagree with someone on another thing.
When you're out here attacking me, making these tweets that Diorio's retweeting, that you're rubbing shoulders with it, he's replying to you, he's saying your jokes are funny, you're replying to him. Kind of makes me think you kind of agree with some of these things that he's doing.
So for the record, you just said that you think that I'm agreeing with everything someone has to say because I agree with them on some points. That's really your point you're making?
I'm saying because of your allyship with him that I think you do agree with those things.
So at one point in the stream, Michael Alberto accuses Lerix of siding and agreeing with everything that Nick says. And what is his basis on this? The fact that Nicholas Diorio and Lerix like each other tweets. Yes, that is it. Whenever they make tweets, they like each other's tweets. That is enough for Michael Alberto to say that, oh, Lerix agrees with every single thing that Nicholas Diorio has ever said about me in any other stance, even though it is completely retarded and Lerix has never given his opinion on the whole girlfriend doxing situation. Nothing. Lerix has never said anything about that, yet he says that Lerix supports Nicholas Diorio in that situation. Keep in mind, Nick had nothing to do with that situation, but We'll get to that a little bit.
Your problem has always been that you can't take jokes and
I can't
insults in
take
the chin.
jokes.
And if you
Mr.
can,
dipped out. Mr. dipped out of the community.
and if you could just move on from these things
I have.
and not boot up a live stream claiming that Diorio is trying to cancel you.
He
when
is.
What actually did?
What do you mean he is? What are you talking about?
When your vision of what Diorio is trying to cancel you of is him retweeting tweets and liking my tweets of you. Do you not see how that doesn't make you look like a spurg?
Calling me a pedophile and a rapist. He posted a picture collage of me and Jeffrey Epstein like Bill Cosby. Like what?
I'm
I'm actually so
insinuating he's a
happy.
pedophile.
I'm so happy you just brought up that example because this proves what I just said.
All
that
right.
your problem has always been you can't take jokes and insults on the chin. And your
I-
example of someone trying to cancel
I literally
you
got
is Nick Diorio. Shut the
dude.
fuck up. Is Nick Diorio posting out a meme clip
mouth.
of you against Jeffrey Epstein?
This also goes in hand with Michael not being able to take jokes. And what I mean by that is that Nick has made a bunch of jokes calling Michael Alberto the next Bill Cosby, Jeffrey Epstein, or what's the other one? Sandy Hook shooter. All those other kinds of jokes. Michael Alberto got mad at people liking and retweeting those tweets because they're supporting him being called a pedophile or a rapist, which again, Michael really can't take any jokes whatsoever. Keep in mind, these are just simple likes and retweets. Like, they're not agreeing. They don't actually believe this stuff. They're just finding the joke funny, but Michael doesn't get that at all. He can't really take any jokes at his expense whatsoever. And keep in mind, this is a guy who says the N-word, the F-slur on streams and says that I allow every joke, so I don't really care. Yet he can't take them any at his expense. And honestly, that's what I took away from this live stream. It's just that Michael Alberto acts in bad faith. He doesn't really do any research when he talks about a subject, or if he does know any information, it's probably from a secondhand source. He also likes to say that anytime you like a Nicholas Diorio tweet, you retweet it, or he likes one of your tweets, you automatically agree with everything that Nicholas Diorio has ever said, even if you agree on a situation that has nothing to do with Michael at all. And he can't take any jokes at his expense. He is also willing to side with people who hate Nicholas Diorio or the commentary out of pure spite. Now, with that being said, that does lead me to another live stream that recently Michael was in. Not just Michael, though, but also Salvo. And I think that it's important that I talk about this one, as this is honestly my favorite live stream involving Michael, honestly. So basically what had happened was that Now Recording decided to cover the whole Lerix versus Michael Alberto situation. And I mean, it's just fair, you know, Now Recording covers a lot of subject. This was a pretty spurgy event, so it makes sense. Of course, however, Salvo, Michael Alberto, and even Austin No Spine weren't too happy that they were covering the whole thing, as they were in the chat talking shit to everyone. They were starting fights with Leia Something, even D-Max, and a couple other people as well. And yeah, I mean, it was pretty entertaining, but I think it's worth pointing out that at one point during the chat, I think it might have been Austin No Spine, one of them admitted in the chat that they were watching from a group chat, which is, I mean, that's pretty pathetic. The fact that all of you are watching this live stream from a group chat all together, probably in a VC, talking about it. It's pretty fucking pathetic, but Salvo does eventually call in, and is just, I gotta be honest here, it's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. There was no point whatsoever during the stream where I laughed. I had not even a smile, nothing. It was just boring. The whole time, Salvo was just bitching and crying about how boring the live stream is and how he's very entertaining, yet he hasn't really done anything entertaining during the whole live stream. He's picking a fight with D-Max, and I mean, D-Max is just coming back at him with quips and absolutely humiliates him. It's just, this is the guy who embarrassed Flamenco, Tipster, Xylee multiple times. This is a guy who had a fan base that would do anything he says with the snap of his fingers. And this is what he is now. Just a complete joke. Nothing. He's just nothing. He has no power whatsoever like he did before. Because that's the thing. Salvo used to take control of any stream or any space he was in. He would take control, but here he has nothing. And he knew that instantly. And the whole chat saw as well. Everyone saw he had no power whatsoever. Of course, though, it's a Michael Alberto video, not a Salvo video. So Michael Alberto comes in and starts arguing with Matt Pin. And it's basically the same argument as Lerix, saying that Nicholas Diorio had nothing to do with the whole doxing. Michael says it's otherwise. And then they start getting into semantics, the timeline. And it's funny, during this whole time when Michael Alberto is in the call, I'm like spamming the Now Recording boys to drag me in. Because, I mean, shit, I know probably the most lore about this guy. I did the video, drag me in. I want to fucking pummel this dude to the ground. And sure enough, I get dragged in. So
I heard you.
Oh,
the
why
other
are you
day.
adding that to the video?
Yeah, get
retard,
fucking Scully out of here for right now. We can bring him in later. But...
No.
You're a pussy.
I gotta get through callers, buddy. We're ending streams.
Uh-huh.
Yo,
Skelly,
Mike-
what's up?
Let's hear it, Scully.
Dragged into the call, and one of the first things that Michael says is that he doesn't want to talk to me, probably because to him I'm just another Spurg, which is rich coming from him. But of course, Matt Pitt lets me stay and forces Michael to hear me out.
Double stream the other day saying, I'm not going to release the Nick video because it might not change anything. Yet Nick somehow is afraid of it. So which is it? Is Nick afraid of it?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
so, okay, so if Nick...
Alberto,
Wait, hold on,
Alberto,
Scully, if Nick isn't afraid of the video, why did he call technicals to preemptively figure out who's helping me with the video? Why would he do that if he wasn't worried at all? And then why, after technicals started talking about Zaptai, why did he then issue his final response, which we know it's not a final response? He does this all the time to avoid confrontation. When he knows something's coming, he puts the final response out before so he can hopefully ignore it later down the line.
So Michael doesn't really answer this question at all. He kind of just pivots and asks me a question saying that, oh, if Nick isn't afraid of my video, then why is he sending people to figure out what's in the video? And then he brings up an example saying that he got ahead of the technical situation. Like before getting challenged to a debate, he put out a final response to it, which, I mean, first off, that's what Michael does. He answers a question with a question. And to be quite honest, I haven't really seen any proof that Nick has asked people to find out what's going on in the video, at least publicly. Maybe there is something going on behind the scenes, but I doubt Nick even cares about the video. He has openly said that he doesn't really find it a big threat, and he doesn't know if he'll waste his time even going through that video because he honestly thinks that there will be nothing in that video. So to answer Michael Alberto's question as to why Nick put that whole little response out there to Technical's, I guess, argument on Twitter a couple months ago, it was really just to put an end to any discussion about Zaptai, really. Because let's be honest, how many times have people accused Nick of defending a pedophile or, you know, acted in bad faith on that whole situation? Multiple times. Technicals and Michael Alberto being the biggest examples, as clearly they've been acting in bad faith the whole entire time. So why even get in a debate with people that act in bad faith? And it's not just Nick who believes that. Augie RC didn't want another debate with Technicals because he acted in bad faith. Same with Tommy C. He wants nothing to do with Technicals because he acts in bad faith. The biggest examples of Technicals acting in bad faith are in Unseen's video and Tommy C's stream on Technicals. And that's really it. I don't know why Michael's trying to spin this whole thing where he's trying to get ahead of the competition. He's trying to put something else before they even get their video or challenge to a debate kind of thing, which is just stupid. It's retarded.
And also, didn't you DM Uppercat after DMing Spondau? You said that 20 people knew of your little girlfriend.
Lower your voice.
20
Lower
people
your
in a group chat. So, I don't know, Michael. It's not doxing people knew. And I have the screenshots right here.
You mean 20 people in a group chat? That's still a private thing, dumbass. That's still a private thing.
20 people. That's not fucking doxing. And you're really in a group chat with
what do you mean?
Who's known for leaking. Are you kidding me? You're a fucking joke.
Well, no, hold on. If you want to say like that was a dumb mistake, I guess say I shouldn't have done that. But he still leaked it at the end of the day, so it still counts. It's like, what is this argument?
So one of the other things that I bring up to Mike was the whole doxing situation, how it's not doxing because 20 people knew, and it's not doxing, but he says because it was in private, it's still doxing, which, no, it isn't, because there's a chance that those 20 people could reveal it to a bunch of other people, that that's your girlfriend, and two, he spurred out in Spondau's DM, knowing full well that Spondau was going to leak it himself or to someone else. And he even admits that it was a very stupid situation, but he's still very, very hard-headed on the fact that apparently his girlfriend got doxxed by Nicholas Diorio and Spondau, even though it's not doxing. Again, I don't think I have to reiterate this point. Just look back on my other video, or even earlier in this video. It's honestly not that hard to refute what Michael says. So then I ask him, how does Nicholas Diorio have anything to do with it? Because he didn't comment on the situation. It wasn't until after everything had happened. And his response was that he retweeted it.
I don't remember Nick tweeting about it when it happened. It wasn't until after the fact, but he didn't say anything.
He retweeted the photos.
He signal boosted.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So he just a simple retweet,
kidding.
and that's it. That's enough for you to say that he doxed your girlfriend.
Just yes, that's all I need. That's all I need, Scully. 100%.
It's a signal boost. I got in trouble for doing less.
Yep, that is it. That is Michael's response. The fact that he retweeted it, that he signal boosted it, even though at that point everyone had already known it. It's been spread by everyone without Nicholas Diorio's involvement.
Why haven't you called Augie, by the way? Why haven't you called him out? He believes the same shit that Nick does, but you haven't said anything about him. I mean, Augie and Turkey Tom defended, and Turkey Tom has a better reason because he looked up to Zaptai, but you haven't said anything in tweet.
But it's really interesting. He goes really hard at Pyrocynical for 1915, a 4-year age gap, but Zaptai's over here with like 2014, and that's like totally fine.
Oh, gross.
So yeah, I bring up to Michael how he doesn't call out Augie RFC or Turkey Tom, which is true. He kind of has on Twitter, but again, though, these are just small tweets in comparison to the many Nicholas Diorio tweets he has made in the last couple of months. So you're not really going to see them on your timeline, if I'm being honest. But to answer to Michael Alberto's question about why Tom is going hard on Pyrocynical, simply because these are two different situations. He's trying to say that these two situations are the same, which they're not. When you look at how these two situations played out, they're very, very different. All right, Pyrocynical tried to keep the whole situation under wraps. He tried to keep it a secret, and also there wasn't really a lot of evidence at the time to pin him as a pedophile. And Turkey Tom paid the price for trying to do something like that. While Zaptai, there was evidence to suggest that he maybe wasn't the big bad that everyone was painting him out to be, and that's why Turkey Tom and Nick had made their videos on Zaptai defending the poor dude. While Pyrocynical, especially with what's come out recently, is a fucking degen. He's a complete loser. Like, that's why everyone is focusing on Pyrocynical right now, especially since, as of right now, Pyro hasn't made a statement at all on the whole situation. He's kind of taken a break on the internet, or been MIA for a couple of weeks. So even though I had much more to say, our time on our recording was cut short as I started to make fun of both Savo and Michael, and Savo got his little pussy tickled and threatened to dox me. So that was nice. Great in trying to prove that you're not a doxer. Later, they were dragged back into the call. This time, it was with Colton, Leia Something, and Ginger. And all three of them kind of confronted on a lot of things. I'm not going to go over the Savo stuff because, again, I don't really care for that stuff. And I think Ginger did a great job at sort of bringing up her points and covering the whole Savo situation, both on our recording and the Shockmouth. I will leave a link in the description below to both those videos, so check them out if you want. So Colton called in to sort of call out Michael Alberto for the whole Zaptai thing, mainly the ages, and try to correct him on it. Of course, Michael Alberto, being thick-headed as he is, he didn't really want to hear it, and yeah, that was pretty much it on that front. But with Leia, it got interesting, though, as Leia got sick and tired of Michael trying to spin the narrative that both Leia and Courtney had tried to Me Too him. Because if you look back in my video, that wasn't the case, as they've made it perfectly clear that they don't think it was malicious at first, it became malicious later, and that they're not trying to Me Too him. So, again, the only person trying to Me Too Michael is Michael himself. However, Michael is very adamant that Leia is Me Tooing him along with Courtney because they're liking tweets about the situation. And what are these tweets? Tweets making fun of his whole situation. That's literally it. They're not even commenting or quote tweeting it. No, they're just liking the tweet. That is it. That is enough for Michael. Again, I don't know how much more bad faith and schizo you can possibly get. Like, not even flamenco reaches these types of level. This is just a whole new level right here.
Who cares? Like, I know for a fact what Courtney did. Courtney
yes, I'm looking at it right now.
Courtney never told me.
No.
Courtney never told me Me Too.
Put the tweet
I never said Me Too. You are the only person
put
in this
the tweet on the
community
stream so the audience
that
can see.
says Me Too.
Putting the tweet on there
Doesn't even fucking matter. It's
What
irrelevant.
do you mean?
These people
It's
since
irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
Hold on,
What
I'm
the
going
fuck
to take
are you
hold of this.
talking
Nobody thinks
T-Max,
you were
you're
Me
alleging-
Too'd. Nobody thinks that you're a rapist.
Oh my God, my
People
phone
are
went
just
ring back.
laughing at you.
I swear I'm going to take sleeping pills. Please,
Okay,
God.
so you're like, Courtney never Me Too'd you, so like, why is she liking a tweet from Nicholas Diorio
Who
that
cares
says
what she likes?
because the tweet is Me Tooing me, you dumb
Who
bitch.
cares?
What is fucking
Who
Michael
cares?
fucking
It's
say,
a
please,
fucking
God.
tweet.
It's a
It's a
tweet
fucking tweet.
slandering me, you
Who
dumb bitch.
cares?
Wait,
Who
are we
cares?
Bitch.
Are you the
Michael's
president of the United States? Are you famous? Do you have a reputation out in the
famous. I do
public?
have a reputation.
You're not
Does.
slandered. Who gives a fuck
You
about
are
a fucking
so
tweet?
dumb. You are so fucking
I'm
dumb.
dumb.
swear I'm gonna
You're
do it.
over here
I have the
obsessing
bottle right
over
here.
likes.
Can you mute her for a second? Can
Nobody
you
is
mute her for
trying
a
to Me
second?
Too you. Yeah,
this
no,
is a
you know
blood
what?
sport.
I'll
You
mute
put that bitch
I'll
in a
mute
muzzle.
myself because you're
Haha,
fucking
very
retarded,
funny.
dude. You're retarded.
So as you guessed it, Michael and Leia end up fucking disagreeing, and Leia spurgs out, and yeah, they both start getting into a screaming match, and it's just this whole entire stream. It's bad for both Michael and Savo, as the whole time, whenever one of them gets kicked out, they accuse now recording of sweeping it under the rug, or when they bring in too many people, it is dogpiling, even though they were fine doing that to, Lerix in their previous stream. So yeah, I don't know how more I can say other than the fact that Michael is, again, bad faith. No matter how much reason you try to explain to this guy or how many facts, screenshots you have, this guy's always going to pull something out of his ass or come up with some stupid explanation. So, yeah. So from here on out, what do I think is going to happen? I just think Michael's just going to keep doing what he's doing, where he's going to keep pushing back the Nicholas Diorio video, because in that stream, it became apparent that he was adding more to it, that apparently he's going to add the lyrics parts, and he may or may not call out Augie and Turkey Tom in that video. Maybe over the coming months or days, he starts calling out Augie and Turkey Tom more often. I know he was supposed to do a kick stream going over that whole live stream, the now recording one, but I mean, at the time me making this video, he hasn't really done it, so who knows if he'll actually do it. As for Salvo, Salvo's just going to keep riding him until either A, Michael backstabs him, or Salvo backstabs him, or just sees no views to him. They're both, it's not going to end pretty, is what I'm trying to say for both of them. And as for as for Austin No Spine, because he's really the only one hard defensing Salvo and Michael, he's just gonna backstab both of them. As soon as, like, say, Michael does something really spurgy or something embarrassing, or his video on Nick drops, Austin's just gonna backstab him, all right? And he's gonna try and play the innocent card. He was just trying to, look out for Michael or whatever the fuck. But yeah, no, I don't think I'll make another video on Michael until his video comes out on Nick, unless he does something, so retarded that I have to cover it or talk about it. But yeah, I pretty much stand by everything that I said in my video. And my video in this whole thing just proves I was completely right, and he has actually gotten worse. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos, especially my Michael Alberto video. And with that being said, I am out.